39 today. Inequalities in a triangle. Theorem 39.1, it doesn't have a specific name, so you just have to remember it's theorem 39.1. If one side of a triangle is longer than another side, the angle opposite the first side is larger than the angle opposite the second side. You knew that, right? The largest side is opposite the largest angle. Theorem 39.2. If one angle is larger than another angle in a triangle, the side opposite the first angle is going to be longer than the side opposite the second angle. Same thing. The larger side is opposite the larger angle. Do these two theorems make sense? They want you to order the sides from greatest to least. Do we have all of the angle measurements? Could we find all of the angle measurements? How? 180 minus the other two would give you angle Q. Okay? So see if you can figure out what the value of angle Q would be. What would it be? Does that make sense? All right, it says order the sides from greatest to least. You have to pay attention to what it says. If you do least to greatest, it's going to be marked wrong. What would be the greatest side? The largest side. QP? It is opposite the largest angle. Does that make sense? Okay. What would be the next side? You'll see how that works? And then what would be the third side? QR. You'll see how that works? Any questions here? Okay. Looking at theorem 39.3. The measure of an exterior angle is greater than the measure of either remote interior angle. we already learn about the remote exterior angle 4? What did we learn about it? Angle 4 equals angles 1 and 2 added up. Remember that? Does the exterior angle have to be greater than either one of these by itself? These angles have to be at least 1 degree, right? They can't be 0, otherwise it would be a triangle. So if you add these two, you're always going to get 4. Does that make sense? So does 1 have to be less than angle 4? Does 2 have to be less than angle 4? That's all that's here. Angle TRT has 0 degrees. They're not going to ask you for that. All right, looking at theorem 30(4). The sum of any two sides of a triangle must be greater than the third. We've gone over that theorem in our math knowledge questions before. Y'all remember those? It'll ask which of the side lengths would make a triangle. That's what it's asking on here. Which of these would form a triangle? You either say yes or no. Yes, it is a triangle. No, it will not make a triangle. Does that make sense? It says the sums of the lengths of any two sides must be greater than the third side. Well, 20 and 14 is greater than 6, right? Are these three sides going to make a triangle, though? Should I have picked 20 and 14 to see if it's greater than 6? Which two should I have picked? 14 and 6, the smaller two. Are they greater than the largest side? They're equal to. Will that make a triangle? No. Does that make sense? On this one, what would I do? 17 and 8, is that greater than 22? Yes. You see how that works? For part C, which two would you pick? 14 plus 10, is that greater than 25? Does that make sense? You always want to pick the smaller two sides to see if they are greater than the longest side. Because if you just pick two random sides and say, is it greater than the third one? It might be true, it might not be true. The best way to figure out if it's a triangle, pick the smaller two. Is it greater than the largest? Y'all see how that works? Okay. The other type of problem that they like to use on inequalities, find the range of values for x. The triangle is not drawn to scale. It looks like x is the largest side, right? X may be the largest side. It may be the smallest side. We really don't know. Or it could be in between 12 and 19. Does that make sense? If it were the largest side, what inequality would we set up? Do you agree? Okay. If it were the smallest, what would it be? Do you agree? What would this inequality be written as? What would this one be written as? Does that make sense? How would I write those as one inequality, like all together. 7 is less than x, which is less than 31. I did not, yeah, that would be your answer. I did not account for if x is in between 12 and 19 because it could be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right? Are those numbers in between 7 and 31? I didn't have to make a separate inequality for this. Does that make sense? Y'all see how that works? So you make one where x is the smallest side or where x is the largest side. Those two inequalities, and then you combine them for your final answer. Y'all see how that works? Any questions here?